Here we go on a Friday. Time to get to business. So today I want to talk a little bit more about Patrick Mahomes' contract. Then I want to get to the proposed 35% of players' salaries held in escrow. Lastly, Raheem Mostert requesting a trade. So, are you ready to get your fix? So let's start with what I brought up Monday during our discussion on Patrick Mahomes' contract extension. Now, this contract is $503 million if he hits all of his incentives. However, over the next 12 years, the Mahomes contract features about $141 million guaranteed. But he was only guaranteed about $63 million at the signing. Now, like I mentioned Monday, this makes Patrick Mahomes the first half-billion athlete in sports history, as well as the first time an NFL player is the highest paid athlete in sports history. This contract was just absolutely nuts. 10 years is a no-brainer for the Chiefs to lock up Mahomes for, and now they can really only worry about other positions if they need, to acquire something. One thing I don't like about this contract is the guaranteed portion. He's only guaranteed about 28% of the $503 million. I don't understand why he would sign a contract so big with barely any of it guaranteed. I mean, did he not learn anything from Kirk Cousins? I mean, Kirk Cousins, he laid out the blueprint to get a fully guaranteed contract when he signed for $84 million with the Minnesota Vikings, and then did it again this offseason with an extension for 2 years for $66 million fully guaranteed. That means no matter how Kirk performs or if he gets injured, then he still makes all the money, all that money, $66 million plus that $84 million, all that is still guaranteed. He still gets it all no matter what. Where Mahomes wouldn't. Okay? Kirk Cousins in 2 years, or in his two contracts, 84 and 66, would be $150 million guaranteed. That's more than Mahomes would make. Guaranteed. Kirk Cousins' two contracts made more guaranteed money than Patrick Mahomes made on this 10-year contract. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he still has 2 years left on his rookie contract. Then, after that, the team has the option to franchise tag him for 3 more years. 3 more times he can get franchise tagged. So that means he could end up playing for the veteran minimum for 5 more years before he even starts making any of that $503 million. I feel like he lost his leverage, as Reggie Bush said. The NFL athletes, they play to get guaranteed money. Okay, if you get no guaranteed money, then in order to get any money in your pocket, you have to perform at a high level. And if you don't, well, that sucks because you won't be making a lot. Patrick had the opportunity to maybe sign a 4 or 5 year deal from anywhere from, $100 to $200 million fully guaranteed. And then after those years are up, bam, now he could ask for 400 to 500 fully guaranteed. I mean, that's probably kind of a stretch, but you kind of see what I'm getting at. Like Reggie Bush said, Patrick is fully invested in the Kansas City Chiefs. But are the Chiefs fully invested in Patrick Mahomes? I mean, it doesn't seem like it to me, being that he isn't really getting any guaranteed money, and he still has the option to get franchise tag if he were, to dip in production. Anyways, this is a good contract, though, for Mahomes, and 10 years, it's a long time. But if he's comfortable with it, then so be it, because now we get to see Mahomes and Lamar Jackson battle it out for a long time to come. Granted, Lamar could get traded, but as what he's doing now, how he's performing right now, I don't see that happening. So let's switch gears to the NFL Players Association informing the board that the NFL has proposed that 35% of players' salaries be held in escrow to aid in managing costs. This was not received well by the players at all, which, is understandable. Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints came out and said, LOL, everyone will sit out and not play until they get their stuff together before we do this. So to put this into perspective, if someone is making, let's say, $20 million, okay, but this 35% is put into effect, then instead of making $20 million, that player would only make $13 million. $7 million is a lot of money to take from someone who has earned the right to make that kind of money. I understand that the teams, they may need more money, being that the season may consist of no fans or less fans, so they won't make as much money. But you can't take can't you take a lower percentage or tweak this somehow? Because 35%, I feel like no one will even want to play. Granted, that won't happen, but players, they're not going to be happy. Okay, this just adds to all the protocols the players have to follow due to the coronavirus. If the board doesn't get things straightened out quickly, this season could turn out to be just a mess. Okay, this 35%, I understand it. If I were a player, I would also be upset as well. So let's move over to Raheem Mostert. So 2 days ago, the San Francisco 49ers running back Raheem Mostert came out and requested a trade. I find this very interesting as Mostert on the depth chart is the 49ers starting running back. He only has Tevin Coleman and Jerick McKinnon behind him. Now, last season was Mostert's best season where he rushed for 772 yards, 8 touchdowns, and had 180 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. So his production, it was just fine, okay? And I mean, they ended up getting to the Super Bowl, so he must have been just fine. Now, CBS came out with 3 potential teams that Mostert could end up on, and those teams are the Jacksonville Jaguars, Chicago Bears, and the Los Angeles Chargers. So let's start with the Jaguars. As of now, I don't see this happening as the Jags have Leonard Fournette and Chris Thompson, so I feel like Mostert wouldn't start here or get as much carries as he's seeking. So the Los Angeles Chargers could bring him in to play behind Austin Eckler, but again, I feel like Mostert, he wants a place to start and get the ball, as much as possible. However, though, the Chicago Bears makes the most sense. Okay, the Chicago Bears have David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen. These are okay running backs. They're not good ones, which makes me believe that this would be the best landing spot for Raheem. I think he would come into this organization and start immediately and rack up similar stats or better than when he was in San Francisco last year. Again, I find this trade request kind of interesting, but I guess we'll see what happens in the following weeks because this whole NFL offseason was kind of crazy. It's been probably one of the better off seasons I've witnessed in years. I can't recall another one that's had this many moves, has had this many veteran moves. I mean, even when Peyton Manning left the Colts to go to the Broncos, it still wasn't as exciting as this, where Gronk came out of retirement, Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers, Cam went to the Patriots. There's so much I could go on and on about this season. So we'll see where it goes in the following weeks. Well, that's going to be all for today as we got to Patrick Mahomes' contract, then the proposed 35% of player salaries held in escrow, and lastly, Raheem Mostert requesting a trade. So that's going to end the discussion today. Thanks for stopping by, and you just got your fix with the Wicks.